Whether new shooter, longtime gun owner, or even police officer or soldier, your handgun needs a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Crimson Trace.
Broadcasting nationwide, this is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of Gun Talk. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Or reach out to us via email at tom@guntalk.com. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
Alrighty, Tom Gresham here. Glad you could be with us. It's Gun Talk. Yes, we are entering 2015. Guess what happens in 2015? Gun Talk turns 20. We are going to be 20 years old, 20 years on the air in March. Pretty cool. Really, honestly, truly, when I started, it was a crazy idea. I'd never done radio before, never tried it. I mean, never even been a guest on a radio show, never been in a radio studio, and was either ignorant or arrogant enough, probably some of both, to think, oh, sure, I can do that. But I said, well, I'll try it for 6 weeks. We'll see what happens. Because you always bail out, right? Yeah, well, 20 years later, here we are. Wow, who knew? It's been a hoot. It's been fun. And all of you are really the reason it works. Because you call in, you help out. You know, when I get stuck, you help me out. Just got an email, by the way, from Scott. And thank you, sir. We had a caller who said voting age in Louisiana had been lowered. And I thought, that doesn't sound right. It can't be right. So Scott sends me a note, says, here are the new laws. The voting age is not lowered, but you can register to vote at age 16 in Louisiana. What they're trying to do, and I get this, they're trying to get young people to register to vote when they get their driver's license. Because the youngsters want to get the driver's license. They're going to go get it. And they say, look, while you're here, why don't we go ahead and get you registered? They won't be able to vote until they're 18. But they get them registered at 16 because it's hard to get them back to register to vote. So what that will do, of course, is that will increase the number of young people who are registered to vote and who will vote. And to Carl's question is, how does that change everything? It does change things. You'll have a younger electorate. And from the gun rights standpoint, that means we better be reaching out there and reaching those young voters. And we better be thinking about that. And if we're not thinking that our first, second, and third avenues for doing that is social media, we lose. They're not reading newspapers. They're not watching TV. They're certainly not watching news. Almost probably 90% of their input comes from online and, frankly, from their phones. It's not even from computers anymore. It is portable. It's your handheld device. And if we, the gun rights movement, are not heavily involved in social media, we lose. Simple as that. Take my word for it. Write it down. Put a big sticky on your refrigerator. Come back to it in 5 years. You'll go, that guy was right. You know why? Because I am. All righty. One of the things I've been asking is, as you move into 2015, what are your plans? What do you think you're going to be doing? Are you making the kind of commitment to gun safety, for training, for getting an instructor certificate so you can start teaching this stuff? Well, there's nobody, frankly, better to join us to talk about this than my friend Tiger McKee from Shootrite. Hello, Tiger. How are you?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you?
I am well. I hope the family's doing okay.
Yes, sir. Had a great holidays, took a week off, so that's always nice. All rested up and ready to start the new year.
And that lovely wife of yours is mean as ever, I take it.
Yeah, she is. She keeps me out of trouble.
Well, she better keep you out of trouble. Somebody's got to do it. All right, for those who don't know, Tiger McKee is one of the top trainers, self-defense firearms trainers in the country. Got the Shootrite Firearms Academy in Alabama, but also you'll take it on the road. Tiger, how long have you been doing this now?
I've been teaching professionally coming up on 20 years now, so we're both having an anniversary.
How about that? And then also, of course, you've got the DVD, which we helped with, which is Fighting with the 1911, which we say it's a 1911, but it's really about self-defense with a pistol and all the techniques you need for that. And then you've got this fabulous book that you wrote, The Book of Two Guns, which I highly recommend to anybody. It's about the 1911 and the AR-15, the carbine, and how to use those. You're really a student of martial arts, are you not?
Yes, sir. Since I was very young, my father introduced us to martial arts and worked a lot of different disciplines. I don't have belts in anything. Mm-hmm. I've studied and trained a lot of stuff, and I try to take that over into the application of firearms for self-defense. Well,
self-defense with a gun is a martial art.
In my opinion, yes, sir. It really is maybe the ultimate martial art because it allows somebody that's smaller or weaker or at a disadvantage to very efficiently defend themselves if necessary from a larger, more aggressive attack.
You know, we've been doing this series, we call it First Person Defender, where we take just regular people, and they may have a lot of training, they may have almost no training, and we rig them up for force-on-force training using simunitions. And what I discovered after 2 years of doing this is what you already know with your experience, is that it seems to me the biggest mistake we see when people get into real world, as much as you can, real world simulation, is they let people get too close to them. Does that make sense?
Oh, definitely. You know, as far as society goes, we're raised up to be polite and all that type stuff. And so we have sort of a natural tendency to not want to tell people, you know, hey, don't come any closer, get away from me, whatever the case might be. So there's sort of an instinctual barrier against doing that. And one of the things I do and tell people and teach is if somebody's making you feel uncomfortable, you need to verbally start telling them or issuing them commands, telling them what to do as soon as possible.
You know, it's interesting. We can say that's what you need to do, and people will go, yeah, I need to do that. But if they don't actually practice it and say it out loud and say it in a good, strong, authoritative voice, it's actually difficult for them to do.
Oh, definitely. Communication consumes a large part of our brains, like random access memory, I guess would be the term for it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And if you don't practice it, it's a skill just like any other skill that you won't have when it's necessary. So that's why, like, during our drills, we're having people issuing verbal commands to the threat, stop, leave my house, something like that, so that it becomes part of your habit and it's something that you're familiar with and you know how to use it.
And, you know, I mean, and I've trained with you. I mean, I want people to understand, we've worked together a lot, done TV. I've been up there. We've done the other things. But when I had some free time, I actually called you and said, I want to buy some of your time. And, you know, basically, I believe in doing that. You have to train. But part of everything that we do, every time we get together and when you're working your classes, is people are yelling, stop now, drop the weapon, get out of my house. Every time they draw, when they're shooting, when they're moving, they're also talking through the whole thing. You have to practice it.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it's just a skill like any other. And then the advantage is that the threat may comply to your demands, and that works out really good. If there's witnesses, they're going to hear that you were issuing verbal challenges. And then also people forget they may need to communicate with their friends or family members or bystanders. So communication, in my opinion, is one of the big fundamental skills that you need to develop.
You know, and when we say you may want to have to communicate with your family or your friends, what you may be saying is get back, get behind me, get back here, move. Those kind of things.
Towards that exit, get on the phone and dial 911. When people think about team, they automatically start thinking about, you know, a bunch of armed people. Your team may be, you know, your significant other and kids or family, friends, that kind of stuff. And you've got to be able to communicate with them in order to coordinate what needs to be done. And you have to be able to do it under stressful circumstances.
Absolutely. Hey, Tiger, hold on a second. When we come back, I want to talk with Tiger McKee. We're going to have some thoughts of things you can practice, things that you can work on throughout the next year, whether it's at home or at the range. to make you better, to fine-tune you into maybe a lean, mean fighting machine, or at least just being a little bit better. And sometimes a little bit better is all you need. 866-TALK-GUN. If you have a question about firearms training, self-defense, now's your time. You're never going to have a chance to talk with somebody that knows more about this than Tiger McKee. 866-TALK-GUN.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols, grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
You bet your life on your defense ammo. Get the proven performance of Nosler bullets in the new Nosler Defense Ammunition. Featuring the same technology as the famous AccuBond line. Polymer tipper hollow point. Bonded performance handgun bullets for weight retention and barrier penetration. Available only in Nosler Defense Ammunition in 9mm, 40, and 45 caliber. Also available in 223 with a 64 grain bullet. Visit Nosler.com.
The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
Are you as ready as you can be, as you should be? I know you have a gun. You think, okay, I have a gun for self-defense. Do you really train? I mean, not just, go out to the range and shoot, because trust me when I tell you that's not training. And look, I know that a lot of concealed carry instructors do the best they can do, but they only have so much time. And frankly, and I got to say it, this is the hard truth, a lot of concealed carry instructors don't know much. I'm being kind. Some of them don't know anything. Come on, look, they just don't. They haven't been there. They haven't trained. They haven't gone to various places. They know the law, but they just don't know much. You really need to go beyond that. And I'm talking with Tiger McKee from Shootrite Academy, Shootrite, SHOOTRITE.org on the web. Author of The Book of Two Guns, excellent book, and of course the star of the Fighting with the 1911 DVD, which we put out. You can check that out at shopguntalk.com, or you get it off of Tiger's website. Tiger, I'm thinking about drills or things that people can do to make them better. And I know that you have a lot of ideas of things people can do at home as well as at the range. Any thoughts?
In my opinion, and this is based on what experts say who know a lot more than I do, like 90% of your practice should be done dry. You don't need to or have to go to the range to practice this, because the fundamentals that you need to work on are moving, communicating, using cover, and getting those things wired in takes a lot of practice. So, like, one of the things I'll do with my blue or dummy pistol, I'll watch a TV show and I'll say, okay, the next time I see this character on screen with a firearm, then I'm going to move, draw my pistol, and issue verbal commands, so that I'm kind of programming that response in. I do this, of course, after Gretchen goes to bed.
Well, she's used to you acting weird anyway, so it's okay.
Oh, definitely. But like just moving goes against our natural instincts, because when we perceive danger, our natural response is to freeze, kind of root to the ground. When we decide to fight, our natural instinct tells us to root to the ground. What we want to do is reprogram that, and it takes a lot of repetition and practice. The best way to get that practice is through dry practice, repetitions, and learning. When you recognize a situation that's dangerous, you're moving to cover or moving to create distance or moving to get to your family, whatever the situation might require.
Yeah, it's very interesting you say that, because, again, in first-person defender, what we see is that people get into a situation and they just lock up, and you're thinking all you had to do was go move around, get on the other side of the car. You saw all this thing happening. Just move, and you're in your head, you're screaming, move. But they don't, because they never practice it.
So, shooting is good. We definitely need to shoot accurately and that kind of stuff. We need to know how to manipulate the pistol. But it's really the important stuff is like moving and communicating and getting to cover. You got to reprogram that through practice and a lot of repetitions, which most of us can't afford to get, on the range with live fire practice. So dry practice is one of the best ways to get it.
And a lot of people have no access to a range where they can shout and move and shoot. I mean, generally you're not going to do that at an indoor range, but you can do that with and let's reemphasize, we're talking about using a dummy gun, a blue gun or a plastic gun, and I would say not even your real gun unloaded. Go to a true dummy gun or maybe an airsoft gun. And you can get those that are just like your pistol that will go in your holster, right?
Yeah, they're perfect replicas of your pistol. That's the only way I would practice this type stuff at home. It's like $35 or $40 of the best money that you'll ever spend to be able to practice this stuff safely.
There's something else you said here that went by fast, but I think it's important, and that is you're telling yourself, when this person appears on screen with a gun, I will react. Part of what we hear over and over again is how people don't recognize a threat, and then they go through this whole process of, that can't be right. I wonder what's going on. Do you think he really has a gun? I mean, and all the time is going by. Time is going by. If you program yourself ahead of time, you say, if this happens, this is what I'm going to do. Bang, I'm going to start moving right now. You will actually really decrease your reaction time.
Well, that and moving is one of the best ways to put the threat into a reactive mode. Initially, we're reacting because we didn't expect the fight. When it suddenly pops up, there's danger by moving. Now that puts a threat in a reactive mode, and it gives you a little bit of advantage to do the things that you need to do while they're adjusting to what's going on.
And it may just be all you're doing is you're getting your family, grabbing them, and you're moving and getting them out of that, wherever that place is, and you don't end up having to shoot anybody or anything else. And as you say, anytime you don't have to shoot somebody, that's a good day.
And avoidance and escape are at the top of our list of tactics. I need to get to safety, take care of myself and my family or friends, and I may not, like you said, then have to shoot, because most threats are not looking for a fight. They're looking for an easy victim.
Absolutely true. Let me ask you, I'm going to switch to this. I have a Google alert set up so that anytime news stories come up that have home invasion on them, I get the stories. I am seeing more and more home invasions all across the country, and they appear to me to they're being more violent, and they're multiple intruders. What are you hearing from the law enforcement and from the reports you're getting?
That stuff is definitely on the rise, and it's not just in urban environments. It's occurring in rural areas as well. And so one of the things we try to stress with people is you need to have a plan for your house. Everybody thinks about what will I do if I get attacked in the parking lot at night, that kind of stuff. It might be really important to think about what are you going to do if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and all of a sudden 3 guys come busting in the door. You've got to have a plan in advance to make it work with your family so everybody sort of knows what they're supposed to do. and you've got a response plan, again, going without any delay in time. So it would be just like, I guess they still do this. In the old days at school, we had fire drills. Mm-hmm. The same thing would apply for your home. You need a drill so everybody knows, and you need to practice it so everybody knows, so that then if something does happen, everybody knows what role they're supposed to perform.
And when you say practice it, you mean you actually say, okay, everybody in your places, we're going to move as though it just happened, and whether we have an alert word or whatever it is we do, we're actually going to all go through our paces and move to where we're going to go. So you actually practice the movements.
Yes, sir, and it's done just slow motion, not live speed, because it's hard to learn if you're going full out. So you need to start out with baby steps. Everybody's doing it slow motion. You're coaching people like older kids or grabbing the younger kids and getting them to the safe spot or whatever. If somebody else is on the phone and dialing 911, the people that are responsible with firearms are getting them ready in case they're necessary. But it would be practice so everybody, again, knows what they're supposed to do.
Exactly. Well, this is the kind of stuff that it's always funny because people say, well, I never thought of that. I know you hear that at every class, and I hear it all the time. And my response to that is, yes, I know you never thought of that. That's not the business you're in. You have your own business, and you're good at that. And that's why you go to Tiger, because Tiger thinks of this. Tiger, what's your schedule look like? You have some openings through 2015 for people to come train with you?
Yes, sir, for sure. And, we do the group classes that are scheduled throughout the year, and then we also offer private tutorials. And that's one of the things that's been growing that we're very pleased with, is we're actually having families come out. And it'll be like a mother and a dad and the son and daughter, they're of age to do this type stuff. And so we're getting families that are coming to train, which I think is a great idea.
That's perfect. Tiger, thank you so much. I look forward to talking with you. We'll work with you in 2015. Anybody wants to go take advantage of this, Tiger's website, Shootrite, SHOOTRITE, shootrite.org. Get his book, The Book of Two Guns. Get his video from shopguntalk.com and commit to training. All right, open lines, 866-TALK-GUN.
Tom Gresham's Gun Talk is broadcast nationwide every Sunday. If you can't hear Gun Talk where you live, call your local talk format station and clue them in on Gun Talk. Stay tuned. We're coming right back. Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, the number here is 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. If you like numbers, 866-825-5486. Also, Tom at guntalk.com. Over on Twitter, I'm at Gun Talk. A lot of ways to get a hold of us. By the way, if you have not checked it out, take a look at our videos, the DVDs we have at shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Got some books, got some videos over there, got some special deals. And just out, actually, I have two brand new videos out. We have Concealed Carry 2, which if you don't have one, you probably want to get that too. And we have Season 1 of First Person Defender. Season 2 will be out in days. The whole thing's working out the way it's supposed to. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. We'll see. But yeah, shopguntalk.com. Let's go talk to Carl. He's on line 4 out of Aztec, New Mexico. Hey, Carl, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom. It's a pleasure to talk to you. I have
Thank
a
you for your
question
call.
about the National Association for Gun Rights. I know a lot of people don't have a lot of money. I don't. But I like to donate where I can to help. Do you know anything about that?
I do. I would not turn on the sprinkler system if they were on fire.
Wow. Excellent.
I don't know. I don't really have any strong feelings about it, as you can tell.
Yes.
No, in my wildest dreams, I wouldn't send them a penny. They have been described with a lot of different names. None of them are good by people who are productive. in the gun rights arena. I think it's a money operation from beginning to end, and I've never seen anything they've done that does anything for gun rights. So if you want to help with gun rights, there are several groups you can get involved with. Obviously, there's the NRA. I like the Second Amendment Foundation and what they do. The Gun Owners of America is a good group. There are some others. You can also, of course, get involved in state groups. But National Association for Gun Rights, I don't mind saying their name. I don't mind telling you what I think. Not ever in my lifetime. Oh, did I say that out loud? Yes, I did. Okay, good deal. So there, a Heritage Foundation, there's some others out there. So, but I would say shop around, find something that you like, but not this group. Just my take. Others may disagree. You know what? And if you, thank you for the call. If you disagree, if you think that's a great group, by all means call. We'll get you on the air. 866-TALK-GUN. Line 3. Jim is in Reno, Nevada, talking about sage hen. Hey, Jim.
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
Good.
Hey, I want to know, they're getting ready to put the sage hens on the endangered species list. Is that going to be another way for them to take public land away from the regular person?
Well, that's the whole idea. But I don't know if you saw that the GOP pulled what I thought was a pretty good trick. They put a rider on the funding bill, and assuming it is still in there, and I have to go back and check, but this story I'm looking at is a couple of weeks old. They basically put a rider in the bill that says they cannot put the sage grouse on the endangered species list.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is one of those that anytime I see stories where they're quoting the Center for Biological Diversity, I know this is a measure you don't want. And look, I'm all about protecting wildlife and species and all that, but the Center for Biological Diversity is one of the most rabid, anti-hunting, environmental to the point of being anti-people groups out there. So sometimes you're best known, you can judge an issue by who is supporting it, and if they're for it, I'm against it. Pretty simple. So, but as of right now, at least if I'm reading this correctly, it looks like the GOP has put a stop to it.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jim.
Have a vote. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was stepping on you. Go ahead, sir.
Well, I heard on the radio that they're getting ready to vote on that here in the next week or so.
Well, it could be, and there may be something new about that. So if somebody has any update on that, give me a holler. We'll find out. But the story I'm looking at is about 2 weeks old, so we'll find out. Maybe there's more news on that. Thank you for your call, sir. Myron is calling on line 1 out of California. About a 7 Weatherby bag. What you got there, Myron?
Yeah, Tom, it's just a question. Actually, me and a buddy were having some conversation about it. He's got a 13-year-old daughter that did some FFA shooting competition-wise and wants to move her up possibly to go and deer hunting with him. He has a 7-mag Weatherby, and he's under the understanding that if he puts a muzzle brake on it, it could reduce the recoil by 50%. I was wanting to know your opinion on that.
That's probably close to a realistic number, depending on the muzzle brake. I would say 30 to 50%. But here's my big but that comes in. I would never go hunting with a Magnum with a muzzle brake on it. I've done it, pulled the trigger on it, and was forever sorry. They are so loud. The muzzle brake makes a gun so loud. I would not want anybody, particularly a young person, to fire it even once without hearing protection. And generally, we're not going to wear hearing protection when we're hunting deer or elk or something. My suggestion for your buddy is to buy another rifle in a different caliber. And what do you want to hunt, mule deer?
Yeah, just up here in Central California. Yeah, we were talking about that. We were wondering maybe 243, 270, something in that caliber range. Either
of those is fine, or something like a 7mm08 is a really great all-around caliber, considerably less recoil. And here's the thing. You can buy great rifles now. I mean, 10 years ago, rifles had a certain price, and now you can buy them for half that. I mean, you're really looking at $300, $350 for a great bolt-action rifle. Savage, Ruger American, Mossbergs, a lot of people making wonderful rifles now at very inexpensive prices. I mean, you can get, for $500, you can get one already decked out with a scope and, ready to go. Just go out and sight it in and go hunting. So I would certainly suggest getting her own rifle in a smaller caliber. I wouldn't saddle her with a 7 mag, at least not at this point.
Well, that's good then. Yeah, we went into we actually won an American Ruger American 308 at an NRA dinner, and we were debating on that one too. He actually has that one in possession right now.
Oh, okay. The 3, I would say, go with that. Look, the 7mm08 is going to have only slightly less recoil than the 308. And if you want to reduce the recoil in a 308, what you do is you go to lighter bullets, and that will get you there. So if you go to 125, 130 grain bullets, as long as they are good bullets designed for hunting, that'll work just fine. So I would say if you've already got a Ruger American in 308, man, home run. That is the way to go. By the way, I've been hunting with a Ruger American in 7mm08. It has performed fabulously. Haven't pulled the trigger on it, of course, because the deer won't cooperate. But it carries real well. I like shooting it at the range. But, so I really like it. Weirdly enough, I put a scope on it that costs more than the rifle. As inexpensive as the rifles are these days, that's not particularly difficult because a good scope can cost you that much. But that's okay. Put the money in the optics. Save money on the rifle, buy better optics. 866-TALK-GUN.
No matter what gun you have, you want it to hit harder, shoot faster and flatter, and be more accurate. You get all that with the ammunition from Double Tap. Double Tap's experts select the best bullets, then load them to higher velocities while keeping safe pressures. Shoot small groups. Shoot farther. Use custom hunting loads in your handgun or rifle. Even fire 2 projectiles with 1 shot. DoubleTapAmmo.com. That's DoubleTapAmmo.com.
There's a rise in home invasions in America, and you need to be ready. Ready to protect yourself and your family. The Bedside Backup from Crossbreed Holsters keeps your gun at your bedside, ready to go. It also folds flat for easy storage and travel. Take it with you and use with any hotel bed. To see more, go to crossbreedholsters.com. That's crossbreedholsters.com. The Bedside Backup is not a child safety device.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
The XDM 3.8 Compact from Springfield Armory is 2 guns in 1. Use as your concealed carry gun with a compact magazine and use the extended magazine for home defense. Carry 13 rounds of 9mm in the compact magazine and a whopping 19 rounds in the extended magazine. To see the entire family of Springfield Armory XDM pistols, go to springfieldarmory.com. That's springfieldarmory.com.
Alrighty, I tell you what, don't forget, we have the after show. We'll be running about 15 minutes from now. If you'd like to be a part of that, of course, you can call us and stay online with us. We will be taking your calls as we yak. Be Jim, Michelle, and Michael, and we'll all be kind of talking about our New Year's and as we look forward to 2015 and taking up a collection to either rehabilitate or blow up Michael's truck. We don't know yet which. We're kind of going either way on the thing right now. So we're going to do what we can do. Anyway, you can call in and be a part of the after show. Let's see here. Where do we want to go? Let's go to line 3. Richard's in Farmington, New Mexico. Hey, Richard, you're on.
Tom Gresham, thank you. I won't take too much of your time. I realize it's valuable here. This call is a heads up, especially to all New Mexico gun owners. There is in the next legislature a bill presented by one Miguel Garcia from Bernalillo. It's HB 44, which would be similar to what they've done in Washington, restricting firearms ownership, transfer, background checks, yada, yada, yada. That's the gist of it. So a heads up to all New Mexico gun owners, you need to contact your representatives, flood them with mail and phone calls, as well as send a letter to the governor's office, because this representative attempted to pass this bill, I believe, in the previous legislative session, and our illustrious Republican governor, Susana Martinez, was quoted as saying she would sign the bill. So heads up, just that's it, sir.
Excellent. HB 44 in the New Mexico legislature. And you're right. We know this is going to all the states. They're going to try it everywhere. Now, if they put it in the legislature, it's easier to fight because you're not fighting the billionaires, the millions of dollars that come from the billionaires, and you can't get it. It's really hard to get into an advertising battle with people who have that much money. But in the legislature, you can contact your local legislator. You can contact the mayor's office. And you can start talking it up and make sure that every gun owner you know understands what's really going on, that it's not a background check bill, that it is a bill that it literally makes it a crime to hand your gun to another person. No, I'm not overstating this. This is not hyperbole. Literally makes it a crime for you to hand your gun to another person. And then if they hand it back to you, that's a separate crime. That's a transfer. The way these bills are written. And they're all going to be the same. They're all going to have the exact same language because they're all being written by the same people. It's all coming out of Bloomberg's group. So for those of you in New Mexico, HB 44, might as well get on it right now. Contact your legislators. You know what? The thing is, it's happening in your state too. There is a legislator in your state. Guarantee you, I don't care what state you're in right now, somebody has put this bill in his or her hands and said, we would like for you to do this and we'll back this. The Bloomberg Group is going to every state and they're locating some legislator, and they may be saying, okay, we can't get this passed right now. But if we do this, introduce this every year for the next 10 years, and we keep saying this is just reasonable, common sense, background check, you wouldn't want the wrong people to have guns, would you? And they say it over and over again. So many times they convince the public that it must be reasonable. It must be common sense. How could anybody not support keeping guns out of the hands of bad people? Except, of course, it makes it illegal for you to hand a gun to a member of your family or to a friend, or quite literally, if you're out hunting and you hand a gun to somebody to hold for you while you're crossing a fence, you break the law. And you're thinking, Tom, that can't be right. That's insane. You're wrong and you're right. You're wrong in that it can't be right. It is correct. And yes, it is insane, but that's what it is. It's as simple as that. I'm telling you, we have a lot of work to do. We made some headway. I think this is the biggest threat we have, this particular bill as it moves through various states, because what's happened is they've said, okay, we can't get things through Congress. We understand that. We're a loser in Congress. But we're able to fool enough people on a state basis that we can start getting these through. And they get the first one through, and they come back and say, well, that didn't stop crime. No kidding. Well, the reason it doesn't stop crime is we just don't have enough gun control. No gun control law anywhere has ever reduced crime. Ever. No gun control law anywhere has ever reduced crime. Simple as that. 866-TALK-GUN. Call us now and you can get on the after show.
Join the NRA via Tom Gresham's Gun Talk website and receive $10 off the regular membership price. Log on to guntalk.com for details. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Just because we're wrapping up on the air doesn't mean we're done talking about guns. Stick around for the after show. It's our podcast-only version designed to include all the stuff we simply couldn't fit into a regular show. Call in now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, back to Tom.
I'm going to take a few minutes here. Give me a little personal time, okay? 2015. What could you do? What if you could just sit with me and I would say, look, here's something for you to think about, perhaps. Try not to be preachy. I know sometimes I can't help it. Part of it is just hanging around with people who really know this stuff. Let me just throw a few thoughts out for you. For your consideration, take it for what they're worth. Incorporate anything you want. Toss the rest of it out. Gun safety. Become a gun safety fanatic. Always watch your muzzle. Always. Always. But it's not loaded. Yeah, I know. Still don't point it at anything. Don't walk in front of it. If it's sitting on a table, don't walk around that side of the table. Don't let anybody around you be careless with a gun. Speak up. Grow a pair. Because not speaking up is a good way to get somebody killed. And there are people who say, well, it's just me. No, it's not just you. If you get killed, everybody in your family loses an important member of their family, and they suffer the tragedy, the horror of that. So it's not just you. Become a gun safety fanatic. If you don't know what that means, go take a class. Which brings me to my second point. Please take a gun class somewhere. I don't care if it's a wing shooting class, self-defense class, long-range shooting class, whatever. Go take a class. If you are a gun class ninja, go take another one. Practice. Take somebody with you. When we're doing the first-person defender series, where we take people and drop them into real-world scenarios where they're using simunitions and they're getting attacked or abducted or in home invasions or whatever, time and time and time again, what we get from them is, I never thought of that. The thinking is, frankly, the most important training you can do. The thinking about that, of thinking, okay, this is how it could happen. This is how fast it could happen. Because that's the other thing we get is, wow, it all happened so fast. Yeah, it does. Thinking about it. Sitting in your big easy chair. Reading on it. I talk about this. I say, make self-defense. If you're serious about this, if you have a gun for protection, either in your home or your car, or you carry it, you have to make this a second job where you study and you stay current with it. You're reading up on it all the time. You're looking at our videos online on YouTube, our Gun Talk. Just look for Gun Talk Media on YouTube. We have hundreds of videos there. You get the DVDs we have. Go to shopguntalk.com. But mostly you go take a class. The other thing is make a commitment to practice. And a lot of times that means nothing more than doing really slow draws and movement in your house with a dummy gun. If you are unsure about how to do any of this stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. It's overwhelming. It's intimidating. That's why we go take a class. And you know what? If you're even intimidated to take a class, then get a DVD. Start with that, so that you at least are aware of what's going to be taught. You become, well, prepared. You set yourself up for it. In the meantime, store your guns safely. If you're not in immediate control of them, please have them secured. That means not loaded and available to anybody else. The other thing is, you know what? Have fun. Make a commitment. I'm going to go do more shooting. I'm going to burn up some ammo. We're going to have a ball in 2015. Our goal is to find as much ammo as we can, and we're going to shoot it all. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back for the after show.